morning. So we're going to be doing target 2 for the latest Farsight project. Okay, so let's get straight to it and see what we get on this. Okay, we have 2 components here for this ideogram. We have the A component here, and this is energy. This is wild, chaotic, expanding. This expands outwards. I can feel this motion, this energy washing over me as it moves outwards. So this moves out from an epicenter, central, waves, pulsating, flowing, moving, dissipating energy, moving outwards from a central part, moves out in waves, feels like it's a buffering sound and force, like being exposed to a real dense blast of air. It's loud, yeah, very loud. A big cushion of air rips into you as a physicality. Yeah. So there's a flash. There's a white flash. Then there's a break or a period. And then there's this wash of energy that moves outwards after the flash. It feels explosive. And this washes over everything, through everything, devastating, forceful, destructive. A destructive wave which feels part sound, and it has particles in it as well. And as it hits things, it breaks and destroys. I'm just going to try to put myself in the way of this force to feel it. So okay, there's an intense white flash, very slight period of nothingness, and then this great wash. I can feel it. And as it hits a human body, you can see the skin, the muscle ripple from this big, almost like backwash of energy that hits. Very destructive. Anyone close to this energy release essentially has severe tissue damage, muscle, bone just literally ripped apart. So a real intense, strong energy coming out from a central radiated source here. But we also have this component here, and this feels like a multi-layered, linear, angular, modern layered structure. It feels man-made. Very modern materials. It feels very much like steel, metal involved. I feel like there's glass involved. Modern looking, sleek. More than one level to it. 3, 4, or 5 maybe levels. It does feel very angular though. Almost rectangular. But maybe where the rectangles coming off of it. Feels very centrally located, urban, modern. Very much part of its environment, city. There are other structures around it as well. So it feels like the target's going to be in a city-like urban location, a modern city, I would say. Feels like it's US or European. It just has that feel about it. The people feel youngish, 20s to 40s, a few above and below that, but the majority between 20s and 40s feel very fresh, modern, social people. This feels like, the structure itself feels like it's in a very social location. Just bear with me while I get a drink a second. Yeah, so it feels very social, public, public. It feels like it's a public used area space, square and linear. Let's see if we can get some more on this view. If I get rid of some of this. The people, yeah, they do. There are mixed race people there. I see coloured people, black people, mainly white though, mainly youngish. I say young, but I don't mean teenagers, but it has that feel about it. Very modern, fresh, you know, mobile phones, devices. Feels like they're sipping coffee kind of thing. In a very relaxed, social type environment and structure. It even feels very public in use. Probably cafes around this kind of thing. So it feels like a structure's involved. It feels very angular, very rectangular. And it feels like it has more than one level. And I don't know why, but one of them feels darker or made of a different substance or something. So let's say we've got 3 levels here or something. So this is what it looks like from maybe outside. But it feels very central as well. And it feels like something happens. It feels broken. Maybe something to do with this explosive nature that we get, this force. Yeah, broken, damaged, parts destroyed, lots of broken glass. Yeah, so I see some destruction to a structure. Now inside, again, it feels very angular, but spacious. There feels like there's some verticals moving outwards. These could be stairs or something here. And it feels like there's a central plaza type area with other smaller structures and areas around this. And within this central public area there are people, life. And within this area, this is where this kind of event type thing happens. There's a flash, white, blinding flash, instantaneous flash, comes out of nowhere. Then a few seconds, no, not seconds, milliseconds later, it feels like a lot to me because I can slow it down. White flash, really bright, blinding white light. Then a split moment of time later, this big wave of destructive energy pushes outwards, destroying everything, moving everything within its wake, really. As I said, I can literally see the muscle and tissues on people's body ripple with the effect of this and push, move forward with intensity. This feels like an event where there is some death involved. People are dying, there's blood, you can smell the blood, you can smell the death. So this feels like some kind of explosive event that involves a man-made structure with a public area to it, a square public area used by people. People are there when this kind of thing happens. And there's a loss of life. There's destruction from this explosive force of energy which seems to move outwards from a central location, so it radiates outwards. It feels almost cloud-like as well. Particles and debris and bits and pieces just expelling outwards from all directions. But here, this area here feels really intense, really dense. I really can't explain this kind of power thing that happens. This dense thudding force that hits everything and kind of really destructive. It shreds things apart. Shreds, that's a good word. I like that. Shreds everything. And again, the life damaged, dying, dead. Yeah, not good. Okay, so let's see if we can get to the cause of this. Let's see if we can see what's happening. We obviously know now that it's some kind of destructive event, and it doesn't feel natural because of the location itself, because it all feels city-like, urban, man-made. There's a lot of man-made here, and modern. It feels modern and clean. So we want to get some information here on the actual event. Okay, so this feels like explosive force in motion of heat, energy, and just like this destructive wave. And this feels like there's life involved. Male. The intent, this planned. Four of them. 3 inside, 1 outside. Okay, so this feels like a terrorist action or something similar. Feels like a planned destructive event in a public place. 3 people inside are the main gist of this. I don't think they're in there when it happens though. It doesn't feel suicide. Doesn't feel like a suicide. Doesn't feel like they die with it, or at least they try to move out the vicinity of the area where this happens. So they're male, 20s to 30s, tanned or dark skin, dark hair, keep to themselves, educated, just walking along. But there's someone outside. The person outside, well, the word comes to mind, handler. I don't know if that's a controller. I don't know, but there's a person outside. He maybe detonates. Detonates, is that the right word? Or actions the event. I feel it's him that does it, not the 3 that seem to place, move, or do something inside. Yeah. So 3 together, move inside to the central area. And this is where it feels like carnage happens. Whilst being controlled, watched, filmed maybe filmed or something from outside. The guy outside's there for a purpose, for a reason. So there's a team of 4 people. They instigate this kind of destructive event in an urban location. Feels like a modern city. Feels like it could be US or UK based. I would err on the US side personally. It feels quite US-y. Very modern location. Lots of young people use it a lot. Feels very modern, very fresh, very social, very public, multi-leveled. Almost like some kind of airport stroke shopping mall or university kind of, you know, that kind of campusy type feeling to the place. I can't really name it or anything. It just has that modern, young, fresh feeling about it. Yeah, so it feels like an explosive event which is planned and instigated by 4 people in a public location within a square, linear, rectangular structure which is man-made and modern. It all feels it to be in a public location, urban city. Feels like a planned event which causes death and destruction, lots of destruction, maybe some smoke and fire, damage to the integrity of the structure itself. But yeah, it's really more about the blast wave, the intensity of this wave of motion and energy that really does the damage to the people and the internals of the building itself. Doesn't feel natural, it feels planned, doesn't feel like an accident. That's pretty much it, I think. So that's it in a nutshell. So it feels like, if I had to summarise this in one sentence, a terrorist type attack in a public structure within a very well known or very modern populated city, urban location, most probably the US. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it on this for a short RV session. Okay, so I'm going to try target 905 and let's see what we get here. Okay, so we have a life. This feels female. Feels like a person in charge, a leader. Something like a head of a corporation or a business leader of some kind. She feels very stressed. She's in an emotionally charged situation. Lots of intense, deep emotions going on here. She feels a little bit angry and defensive. She feels like she's a bit on the back foot. And I see lots of hand gestures here. Lots of hand gestures and movement. This feels like a female life form. Yeah, in some kind of animated discussion or debate. Feels like she's trying to get her point across. Is she arguing? There are raised voices because it's very emotional. It's an intense situation. It feels like this is presented within an urban location. Feels like a city built up, a large building. She feels like she's in front of people. So she would be like here. There's others here. But there are more people over here that she's kind of addressing or trying to talk to, discuss, debate with. Again, it's very heated. 2 different side points here, 2 different viewpoints. She feels feminine and these feel more male, more masculine over here. It feels like there's a kind of a bit of a conflict in the argument going on here. Emotionally charged. She feels very invested in her beliefs and what she's trying to get across here. She feels quite frustrated. Frustrated at trying to get something across, and the way she's doing it, she's using these big gestures. Her hands are making these kind of movements to try to get this across. So it feels like she's over 40. Feels like she's blonde-ish, powerful woman. And this all feels a little bit political. And I have to AOL at this point of Hillary, because, well, it just feels a little bit like that in situation. So it feels like a female life form involved in an intense situation, trying to get her point across. Some kind of debate, lots of hand gestures, lots of intense emotional feelings behind this. You know, there's a lot of invested emotional feelings from this woman involved. She seems to be trying to debate a point of view, get an opinion across to someone else. It's very hard, it's very argumentative. It feels very much like a debate. It feels very much to and from, it has this real political feel about it. So it's a woman caught up in an intense situation all around her. She feels like the situation's enclosing from all sides, moving in on her as she tries to defend herself, debate, get her point across. This all feels like it's in an urban city location, modern. The woman feels like she's over 40s, lightish hair, blondish hair, powerful person, a person that's deemed to be a leader, a person in charge. Very strong, very forthright, very forward with her point of view. So this just feels like a female life form caught up in an intense emotional situation. This is all the emotional energy here. It's very intense, and it's all emanating from her, really. Not much from outside, although there are some outside shouting, debating, influencing, coming from what feel like a small group of males. They seem to be not attacking, but questioning or debating something. I don't think there's much more reading I'm getting on this. Just a life, emotion, energy, debate, a little bit of anger in here. An intense situation based around this female life form. That's pretty much it, really. In summary, a female life form involved in a really intense emotional situation for her. She tried to debate, trying to get her point across. There's lots of hand movements and gestures as she's doing this. There are other people there that seem to be almost attacking. I don't think it's an attacking, but debate seems to be the word that's coming through more than anything here. It all feels a little bit political, modern, in a modern city, and that's pretty much it on this one. So that's target 0905. Hope it's all good.
Target KH37-MD28. I've done some preliminary work and I'm going to jump to a site sketch because there is a lot going on at this target and a lot to talk about. I see people, a lot of people. They're in an open area at night. They're running different directions. This is a hectic, chaotic, noisy scene. I perceived a large, irregular, metallic and concrete structure. There are people associated with this structure that aren't in so much motion. They seem to be going in. Certainly there are people inside this structure. These people, I get a sense of being in line and impatient. Over here is a more open area. This is nighttime, it's dark. I see people running in a chaotic sense, running different directions, some this way, some this way, some this way. It has a feel of like a civil disturbance, a riot. the kind of sense of if your team won the championship and then you go burn cars and turn them over and riot and have drunken, chaotic, not fun, but just mischief. They're up to no good. This is mischievous and they're scattering and running about. The air I sense is heavy, humid air that is smoky and acrid. It's air that you could, air that you could see at night, like street lights and lights are reflecting off the air. So there's been some type of smoky event, and the air itself is still and humid, heavy, acrid, particulate. These people smell of alcohol, smell of cigarettes. Some of them were smoking. I hear sounds of like boom boxes, like boom, boom, thump, thump, rap, hip hop music, annoying music that is not associated with this event, but is in the background, and it's the kind of music that would motivate these people. Let me give you some of the other gestalts of the area here. I sense a curving shoreline with what looks to be water. I would say it's salty water that's ocean water, an interface of sand on the shoreline. Tall things, some of these are like light poles. Some of the things may be trees, vegetation like maybe palm trees. Some aren't palm trees. There's a small retaining wall here. There is a road, a sidewalk, people walking. There's people all over this target. People walking along this sidewalk. A roadway here that is a place where people are riding scooters. They're on scooters, and there are vehicles, there are cars, there's traffic, this is pavement. I smell exhaust. This is an active place. This is a place where there are shops, cafes, restaurants. The bigger building is off over here. There's an open area over here where the people are running around. Get some more specific things here. I get senses of several kinds of energy. This always looks at night to me, and I see cars moving with headlights flashing. I also see blue lights, like flashing emergency lights, police lights on top of some of the vehicles, and they're moving. Headlights are moving, flashlights, like flashlight beams. There are lights from buildings that flash. There's just lights, a lot of lights, but a sense of strobing emergency lights, mostly blue, some are red, headlights moving, a very active scene. There's also some type of energy that I see as focused, bright, explosive. This is more of an expanded, outward, sharp, energetic light. Concussive is the word I get with that. Concussive, explosive. We'll look some more at that. We'll look some more at the people. This time I see more people tightly packed, shoulder to shoulder, a crowd, many deep. And again, it seems to be a dark place, dark and dim. But here is an explosive, bright, sudden energy that leaves them shocked, confused, fearful, stunned. Just there's a moment I see that's like a frozen, this is like a freeze frame etched. That would be one person, other person in front to the side behind them, and they're like reaching out. They're like this. And there's other people like this. And then there's this sudden flash and explosion, like somebody detonated themselves. And I see that frozen. A chaotic scene, all hell breaking loose, people running, lights flashing, emergency vehicles. The air is acrid, drifting clouds of wispy smoke. I almost smell tear gas, something that hurts your eyes and your nose. Difficult to breathe. The air is humid, oppressive, heavy. This is not fresh air. This is air that you don't want to breathe. It weighs heavy on you. Doing S5 ERV on this target. And I'm going to record everything that flashes in my mind. And you get sudden little flashes. I was out and I saw this. We've all seen that, the burqa thing, everything hidden but the eyes. I saw that pretty clear. And associated with that, heavy-lidded eyes, dark eyes, medium-length hair, facial hair, big lower lip, Arabic-looking guy. Of course, that's the wife. the thought of the wife, the food was not halal. It involved the wife being given food or something to do with food and the wife that was not halal. And this guy is angry, violently, irrationally, crazily angry over this. Also in S5, I'm out. I go out into the theta state where I'm like essentially asleep, and I start seeing this little dream image of, and this is funny. Jim Mars, and I heard his voice, I heard his Texas accent, and he was commenting on, and then I saw a place with an elevated freeway in a city, busy traffic, a lot of buildings. This was a different place than what I was seeing in the other work. And this was sudden and unexpected. Gray skies, mostly a city that is not pretty. Gray buildings, concrete buildings, and one of them had an explosive event and gray smoke coming up. And Jim Mars was looking at that and commenting on it, and I heard his voice, and then it was just that image only, and then gone. So I'm recording everything. Now back to the main event that I feel more locked onto. I described the explosive event, people reaching out. Okay, I'm going to move backward before this happened. A day before the event. Okay, so this was significantly different where the people were running around. There was something explosive one day before. And I can look at that. And what I see is a roadway. The water is over here. The retaining wall is here. The sidewalk is here. People are here. This is a place, as I said, people riding scooters. There are cars. There are vehicles. It's a famous avenue. Buildings over here. A walkway. There are, like lining this, cafes, restaurants, places where there would be gaily colored umbrellas with open-air cafes and bars where people would sit around at tables, enjoy the view, enjoy the people walking by, sip an aperitif, have a cocktail, a beer, have some food, shops, touristy feel, restaurants, cafes. It's not real built up. These structures are, you know, 1, 2, 3 stories. There's taller structures over here, but this is more of a quaint, touristy feel, a pleasant place. I hear music. People putt by on their scooters. People walk over here. There are vendors here that vend spicy food, ethnic food, kebabs, falafel, fruit vendors. You know, you can come get a snack here, over here, under the umbrella, by the tables, have a drink, shop here, tourist curios. There's walkways through here. It's interesting that this is a nice place, but I get a bad smell here, like they don't take out the garbage dumpster here that's pretty rank and foul smelling. So it's a nice place, but got a couple problems here, not exactly pristine. That's a stinky dumpster. So there's some funky, like in Thailand, it's a nice place to beach road. I'm not saying this is Thailand, but there's some weird smells nearby too. Not like you'd get, well, I guess in America you get that. I don't know exactly where this is, but it's spicy food, ethnic food. That's everywhere nowadays. This feel is music, happiness, carefree, no danger, not on guard. A place that'd be nice to go visit. You know, see the sights, rent a scooter, drive along this famous road, stop for an afternoon glass of wine, and hear some music, and a nice place. Now we'll do another movement order, which is a day later. Two days, 48 hours, 72 hours, a day and a half, 2.5 days, 2.5 days. There's a structure or a couple structures. They're damaged, they're pockmarked, there's shrapnel, there's windows that are boarded up. They're closed. There's been, like, I don't know if I'm slipping in time, a sense of the yellow police tape, do not cross, crime scene. This is closed off. These places are closed now. They're damaged. They're going to need to be repaired. They're not like the World Trade Center smoking rubble, but have been impacted. Still seem like the structures are still structures. It's not a pile of rubble, but there's some damage and there's some remedial, you know, like board it up, the broken windows, close it off, lock it up. And then on the sidewalk, I see stuff piled up, pictures, flowers laid out, prayer beads, food items, a lot of flowers, vases of flowers, wreaths, garlands, photos of the victims, of the people that were hurt, killed. Like a little makeshift shrine where everybody brings their little remembrance, and then people come, pay their respects, pray, cry, look, acknowledge, just shock, moment of quiet, gather round. This was sad. Remember, don't forget. Kind of like these kind of memorials in 9/11, the Paris attacks, Brussels, little makeshift shrines on the road and the sidewalk. And then over here, I see big vans, and I've been in these things with the satellite. The satellite trucks are parked here. International news media, a bunch of them. And then over here, you know, the cameraman with the tripod and the cameras shooting here. And then the reporters stand here and do their little, behind me you see the scene. And we remember, we won't forget, the investigation is ongoing. People are holding memorials. So there's still damage. Things are not back to normal, but over here they are, nearby there. Over here, things open, things going on, but there's a closed off, damaged area. There's a shrine, there's reporters here, and there's a lot of attention on what happened here. Is there anything else I need to say about this? Lights. I did also see early on, I get everything on the record here, my very, very, very first visual that I didn't, I mean the first look was people at least 4 people. It would look like a table in a dim place with an overhead light shining down on them. I also had a visual early on of people in a crowded, dim area, narrow and closed, like a cramped space moving through there. Then a sense of, I saw a flash of energy, just frozen like that, explosive, bright energy. And a lot of glimpses of people at night running. Kind of like rioters. Reminded me of Ferguson. Did I say that? Ferguson, or the riot after some event where people just take to the streets and they don't have a clear cut. They're not like surging all as one. They're just running to and fro to be running.
There's a few different type of things going on here. I have, let's see if I can draw this. I have this land is kind of irregular, hilly, but flat, not too much going on. Some foliage. It's very water. It's very natural, all natural, kind of very natural environment. You can see water, kind of like a coastal line or whatnot. I'm just gonna draw a few here. And where's the water? It's kind of off the coast. You can kind of, I'm just going to draw it over here. Very beautiful blue water. It's it seems to be very there's very many subjects. There's a lot of subjects in buildings. The buildings seem kind of flat to me. Not necessarily flat, but they're not like a lot of height to it. It's very square-like. So I'm just going to draw a couple of squares here. Lots of subjects. People. It's very harsh. People of all ages are around. Very harsh natural environment. There's a lot of smoke. This is definitely the simple version of everything. Smog, smoke, dark, kind of black. There's a lot of movement by the subjects. There's heat, but it's not like weather. It's heat like a fire, very hot to the face. You can feel it. It's kind of everywhere. A lot of foliage, a lot of energy. There's a lot of people, chaotic. It's very chaotic. People are nervous. People are, draw a few. People are very nervous. People are kind of scared. You can feel the negativity that's going on in the city right now. It's just not good. I'm hearing a lot of sounds, a lot of wind, but I don't know if the wind is from the city or weather, or if it's from what was happening here. You hear a lot of popping and crackling, a lot of broken things going on, maybe things falling or whatnot, glass or something. It's burning everywhere. It's very I don't know if do I see orange? It's very broken. It's kind of like people are even getting hurt. There's burning everywhere. I can't tell if this is a forest fire or because there is a lot of foliage around here, but there's also a lot of water. So most places with water don't have forest fires. So this is very odd, very different. What happened here is there's a lot of chaos, a lot of smoke coming out of the buildings, a lot of trees breaking, being burned. It's kind of like this place is getting wiped out by fire, almost by fire and smoke. You could see, I'm going to figure out what happened. I'm going to try to go. You can see kind of a film, a cloud, but it's not like a nuclear type of thing. It seems very natural, but it's still very odd because all you can see is smoke, and it usually doesn't happen in a place like this. That's near water. I'm going to try to go to the origin of where all this started. See if I can find anything. See if it did happen naturally, or if it was somebody did it on purpose, or if it was an accident. Let's see. To origin. There's kind of a it's very hilly, grassy area. it's kind of before it happened or while it's happening. You can see land and like a hill. So it's very natural in environment. There's something sort of like a, this is all I can see of it anyway. It's very log cabin-like. This is what I'm seeing here. So of course, I'm not the best drawer, but it's very loggy, almost kind of brownish, I believe. I don't see any people. What happened? There's a lot of foliage around here. I'm thinking this is either in, I can't tell if this is either in the center of the city that is on fire or if it's nearby it. So I can't really tell, but there's a lot of foliage. It's very grassy. It's very natural. It has I don't see any people though. You can see smoke coming or around the back. Is it coming from the building or around the back? I can't really tell. There's no one inside though, but I'm gonna keep checking. I hear people or voices, cries or of pain. Everything's happening so fast. I hear cries of pain, but I can't tell if it's in the building or if it's off in the distance. What's going on here? If it's off in the distance, I hear a lot of popping, a lot of banging, a lot of what are the sounds? Crackles, shatters. Things falling, a lot of drops, a lot of, it's very loud, but it's so cloudy and smoky you can't really see what's happening, and it's all happening very, very fast. I can't tell if the people are inside here or if they're off in the distance because this is everywhere. Let me see. People, did anybody start this? Did anyone start this? What started the event? I'm getting a few subjects. I'm guessing, I don't know if they started it, if they were just in the midst of it first. They have very pale skin, just like everyone else in the city. Very, very pale skin, dark hair. One person is kind of light brown skin, definitely lighter than me. Short hair. It feels kind of like a male, the pale or whatnot. I see short hair, long hair. So I'm guessing it's a man and a woman of some sort. I don't know if they're a couple or if they're just together while this is happening. But there's so much going on at once. I can't make it. They can't make it stop. They can't make it stop. This place is filling with smoke and red trees. Everything is kind of getting ready to start burning. The fire is spreading faster and they can't make it go away. They've tried. You hear people in pain, cries of distress. It's very gloomy and bang. Is it an explosion? Is it an explosion? Something exploded or caught fire of some sort, which caused all of this chaos, and it spread throughout the whole city. So I'm guessing it had to be, everyone's very, very chaotic right now. And it was caused by these two people, these two subjects, a man and a woman. I can't tell if they are still alive or if they are hurt in this process. I just know that it's so much going on at once. You can just see this very harsh natural environment across this whole town. It's a coastal town. It's off near water, and you can kind of see just chaos. I'm gonna try and move 24 hours before this event happened. 24 hours before this happened to see exactly what this place looks like, because right now it's very demolished. It's very demolished, very dark, very gloomy, very sad and panicky, and it's not happy at all. So I'm gonna move 24 hours into time, or before this time, and 24 hours after where I am now, and see what this place really looks like. It's very beautiful and almost blue, very quiet or happy. It's peaceful. It's not. It's the exact opposite of what it is like now. I can't draw this. It's full of life and energy, and you can see a very, very serene place. You can see they're pretty white buildings. Oh God, me drawing this would just ruin the whole thing. I wish you could see exactly what I'm seeing right now. Like, they're either stone buildings or white, very square. They're very naturally made almost. You can feel the texture to it. It's you see these, just imagine this very pretty blue sky with the fluffy clouds. You got a landscape, the greenery, a lot of foliage, and it's almost designed like a painting almost. It's very above this coast of blue water, very, very blue water. It's definitely nowhere I've seen it. Kind of what I feel like Spain might look like, or Greece, Barcelona type feel to it. It's very free and beautiful. You can see the colors, flowers or pinks. You see all kinds of colors. You see all kinds of greenery and land, hills. Just imagine land and hills and these beautiful stone buildings, and it's just very, very natural. A lot of nature off in the distance. Mountains maybe, at least they seem very mountain-like, but they could just be more buildings. I can't draw that. It's so beautiful and calm and energetic and love life right before this event happened. Maybe it's a tourist attraction or some sort. It's definitely very beautiful. I'm gonna go into time from where I actually am in this Target event and see what it looks like after this whole event happened, a day after. It's dim and broken, very, very gloomy, very dead, it's like someone opened the pits of hell on this town. It like soots, dark, like something blew up and it just raided this whole place. It's very sad. It's very, trees are fallen, broken, houses or buildings are dark. They're not the pretty white what that I saw here. It's very, very emotional. It doesn't look like it could have ever been this place. It doesn't look like it could. I'm wondering if it can even revive. Will it be as beautiful as it once was again? It's very scary. I've never seen anything like this happen before, and it's just dark, and you can still see red. Maybe they didn't put all the fire out in places. You just see darkness. People are very gloomy. It's a very slow pace. It's not happy at all. You can't, the water's doesn't appear as blue as it once was. I do hope that this place comes back from this. I don't know where I am. Or what happened exactly, but it's not too pretty.